4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
What's up, everybody?
And action.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for. Today, we are talking about our favorite baseball movies of all time. As you can see, Leaf is not with us today. Gibbs filling in. Thank you, Gibbs, for pulling up the slack.
I am the player to be named later.
Man,
He is the player to be named later. So, Leaf,
I hate to talk about a man while he's down, but what a piece of shit. Like why Leaf's gone out of the country for like 2 weeks, and then he's scheduled back and fucks us.
Well, he's getting Tommy John on his elbow, you know, like it's time to...
Well, I mean, you know, I think also with Leaf...
Is this still okay to like eat on air?
I think Leaf has made that precedent, yes. So this week, we just want to talk about our favorite baseball movies. We're all big Braves fans, so all of us have been to several baseball games live. We won't spend a whole lot of time talking early on. We just want to kind of jump in the meat. But we do want to say, Leaf, get better. We'll see you next week, and we can't wait to have you back. I think next week we're going to do Major League, really narrow this down. So let's go ahead and take it over to our...
Balls of the week! Get out of the street, you fucking bum!
Just get out of the street.
I like the way he says fucking.
I do too. So for this week, I'm actually back to the Tropic Mutant, the Oscar Blues. I haven't had it in a while, and I'm very happy to have it back in my system. It's real, has nothing to do with baseball, so I got nothing to
It's in your It's in your system?
I'm in a sizzle. In a system.
Gibbs, what are you rocking over there, brother?
Well, I am drinking Stella Artois.
The Artois?
Or as a friend of mine likes to call it, Stella Artois.
No, Gary, give me a Stella Artois.
And
Nice.
the red face is brought to you by Spices Pickle Vodka.
So we have to get
original
a
pickle shot.
sponsorship. We have to get a fucking sponsorship from them. There's been no podcast on the planet that's pushed spicy pickled vodka more than Be Kind, Let's Rewind. So sponsor our podcast. So
I don't go to work without it.
Chadwick, what do you got, buddy?
Well, you know how I got her to go home with me? Conversation and Hennessy.
So he's got a little hen. So I thought this would be a fun one, especially since Leaf's not here, that we would just basically talk about our favorite baseball movies of all time. We're right in the middle.
Everything's more fun without Leaf here.
God bless. You love him. Tell him you love him.
I do love him.
All right, there it is. All right. And I'll cut that part out so it'll sound like you still hate him.
Just bleep out the word love.
And when you speak of me, speak well.
We'll just go around the horn and just pick a baseball movie. I'm going to start probably with the Mecca, which will be Bull Durham.
Well, I believe in the soul. The cock, the pussy, the small of a woman's back, the hanging curveball, high fiber, good scotch, that the novels of Susan Sontag are self-indulgent, overrated crap. I believe Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I believe there ought to be a constitutional amendment outlawing AstroTurf and the designated hitter. I believe in the sweet spot, softcore pornography, opening your presents Christmas morning rather than Christmas Eve, and I believe in long, slow, deep, soft, wet kisses that last 3 days.
Yes.
So with Bull Durham, Kevin Costner, a gigantic baseball fan, baseball player, great actor. Just
Baseball owner, right?
Was it his dad that owned the?
No, I thought Costner at least partially owned maybe a farm league team.
I thought.
Yes, he owned his own little like semi-pro team, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he owned that. Is that the battered bastards of baseball? Was that him?
No,
that was Kurt Russell, wasn't it?
Russell. Shit.
Yeah,
that's right.
this is where he had a cornfield and he built
He had Ghost play for him.
He built this field out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
He made indentured servants out of dead people.
Yeah, which will be another one we get to. But
Man,
anyway,
they should make a movie about that.
Yeah, so in Bull Durham, it's basically about a guy that has been sniffed the bigs. He's gone back to the minors, and he's basically on his last leg. Actually,
Crash must have called him a cocksucker.
yeah. So the telltale is he's about to. A stat you don't ever want to have is lead the minor leagues in home runs, because that means you were in the minor leagues that long. So it's kind of like an undertone in this. They actually have that kid from Shawshank is in this movie too.
Yeah, you kind of look like
kid from-
you kind of look like Nuke.
Yeah, Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon, great cast.
I've been told I look like Tim Robbins from People at Work, and I don't fucking see it. So
I don't either.
You don't have a mirror?
What?
You work with a bunch of mutants.
I do work with a bunch.
This one goes out to Nick. Love you, buddy.
Nick, get your hair cut like Wild Thing from. Also, shout out to the Dirty Knight and the Boys. They've been they really want us to.
Sounds like gay porn.
They said thanks for the F Shack, Dirty Knight and the Boys.
I was in a gay porn called Dirty Knight and the Boys and TM, by the way. So you owe me money.
Well,
TM.
It was gay for pay.
Yeah, well, no, that's not gay.
Yeah,
and balls didn't touch. Ball shields were used. Anyway, so in this movie,
I touched kids' balls in Hebrew school once.
This movie though is a good little insight to the minors, because you have the paths crossing of the has been and the rising star or whatever, and then you also have Susan Sarandon in it too.
Susan Sarandon. I mean, the cast is great.
Miss McGarrico.
I always love you.
The script was written by the same guy that wrote White Men Can't Jump and Blue Chips, and I mean it's
really I didn't know. Okay, wow,
fantastic movie. Great characters. One of the
so the writer doesn't really know anything about sports.
I mean, White Men Can't Jump's pretty fucking accurate.
Blue Chips is pretty fucking accurate too. They kind of nailed the paying players thing well before everybody realized.
Fucking did.
Before NILs.
Before everybody was like, let's just stop pretending like we're not playing.
Yeah, right. Let's just pay them. But
I mean, it really did it captured the spirit and the essence of minor league baseball and baseball in general. The whole love of the game. Kevin Costner is amazing. Tim Robbins is amazing. Tim Robbins plays a guy named Ebby Calvin Nuke Lelouch. What the fuck? I mean, the chemistry between everybody, the direction. Kevin Costner hit his own damn home runs in that movie. Every home run that he hits in that movie is something hit by Kevin Costner.
Do you think there's any realism to? Is there a lady that picks out a player every year that comes through the farm league and seduces him?
Yeah, dude, there's whores everywhere.
Yeah. I think they're called lot lizards in other industries, but but yeah, they. I think that this
lesser in.
What I like too is the old Nuke's got a signing bonus, so he's got a fat new car and everything, and then everybody else is making. People always think, oh, you're in minor leagues, you're making like $30,000. Like they forget these high draft picks get a fat fucking signing bonus, and then they may collect the minor league salary, but their
minor league salary is absolute jack shit. A lot of times they have to do 4 or 5 players in a fucking apartment,
right.
It's shit squalor. It's awful.
Did you guys ever know anyone that went to a minor league team?
Yes. No, I did not.
Yeah, I had a guy in high school. He was a year or two ahead of me, and he got picked up. He was a pitcher. He got picked up by the Yankees out of high school.
Holy shit!
But senior year, he knocked up his girlfriend, and so he was gone for I think 1 season. And I don't know if he was in love and wanted to get back home, take care of the kid, or if he got on the road. He's like, man, this fucking blows. I can't cut it.
We'll say the first one, so it makes
when I was a kid, when I was growing up in Orlando. There was a baseball player named Ozzie Timmons. I was a huge fan of him, and when we were going to a Lookouts game years later, this is decades later after I saw him, me and Chris were sitting there, and I was like, "Oh my God, is that Ozzie Timmons?" And we had a program for just 25 cents.
That's all it cost.
And it turns out it was the same guy that I had watched, and he ended up being like a third base coach for the Tampa Bay Rays. He played for the Mariners and stuff like that. And we talked to him. He came over and talked to us after the game at the Lookouts game, because he was coaching for the Montgomery Biscuits at the time.
We were drunk, and he was on the first baseline, and I was like, Ozzy, and then he turned around, and then Gibbs was like, Ozzy Timmons, and like, what team did he play for that you saw him?
I think it was the Orlando Sun Rays was the minor league team.
Some shit, but anyway, he gave us a thumbs up, and then because we were front row, I think anyway. Yeah. So he goes, we're like, I don't know if we were drunk, but I don't know if we motioned for him to come over there.
Yeah, we were like, hey, I'm a big fan. Can you come over here? And he was like, so he was like, one second. I'll come over and talk to you.
And then they got the last out of the game. He went and did his, congratulating everybody. That dude came over there and talked to us for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We shot the shit. I was telling him about how much I loved him when I was a kid and stuff. And yeah, it was really neat. And
I mean, that's a hard life. Like minor league baseball.
Dude,
there was another guy. There was actually two, the same class. I think the catcher from that same graduating class. I can't remember who he got picked up by, but I saw him, I don't know, 6 or 8 years after we graduated. So, man, it was so hard. We got out there, and everybody's like partying, trying to like keep up with that. And it's like I ended up getting cut. Shadwick, I've never been cut in anything in my life. It completely fucked me up.
Oh, I'm sure that destroys you. Like, I mean, because you're cream of the crop before you get up there, and now you're not. So. The cream rises. The cream rises to the top. Mm-hmm. So that one is.
One time I cut a bitch for getting in my face.
We used to know a guy named Cut a Bitch. We did homeless tailgating with him.
Yeah, we did. Gibbs did cut.
I bet that tastes good.
That did happen. So it did. All right, Gibbs.
So Bull Durham is definitely my favorite of all time. One that always sticks with me is Little Big League.
I don't like your curveball. As a matter of fact, I hate your curveball. You want to know why? Why? Because the damn thing don't curve.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's one that gets so overlooked, and it has so many funny parts in it. It gets me every time. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, The Wizard.
Yeah.
California.
It's actually a 90-minute commercial for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Super Mario's 3. But California is the same kid. That's the same kid.
Oh,
California.
Shit.
It's the same kid.
How did I never pick that up?
So what happens is his grandfather is the owner of the Minnesota Twins, and his grandfather dies, and he inherits the team, and the coach is kind of I'm not saying dickweed, and they...
Can I say dickweed?
Can I say dickweed on the show? Yeah. Anyway, the coach is his dickweed, so he fires him, and he takes over as a coach. He's a little kid, and it causes a little bit of controversy and shit like that. And it's just a really sweet, good movie with a lot of really funny scenes and a lot of really funny people.
What's great, I think, about that, too, is we saw this as kids. So in our brain, like, that's a possibility. Like, we're like, oh, shit, like... It was after Rookie of the Year, I do believe, right?
I killed 2 grandfathers just trying to get a major league team.
Get a major league team out of it.
See, Rookie of the Year was that was the kid from American Pie, right?
Right.
Yeah. It was American Pie kid.
But I think like this one was after that. So
he's tired of that hand job shit.
See, I don't even remember which one. I think they came out around the same time.
I just remember thinking, I'm not going to break my arm and have it fused so I can throw 100 miles an hour. But there's a chance I could probably manage a major.
Let me go ahead and tell you that you don't want to do that.
I did try to break my brother's arm so that I could just ride his coattails, kind of like Patrick Mahomes' brother or whatever.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jackson Mahomes. I wanted to be the Jackson Mahomes of my.
You just want to do TikToks, dance in the background.
Yeah, this is before TikToks, but I would have invented TikToks.
Flaming douche.
Gibbs would have been great at it.
I've been so good, but I mean, it's a really good, touching story. There's a lot of great character development in it. Great lines.
I used to read a lot of touching stories.
No.
It's actually got some sound baseball strategy too in it. Like there's a lot of
history too.
History, yeah.
Yeah, they talk about a lot of history. That man, there's one scene where they're playing for like the division or like maybe like conference. I can't remember. But they're also playing against the Mariners, and major characters in this movie who are the bad guys are Randy Johnson and
the big eunuch.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
And they both come off as dicks in that movie, and they're good at it. I mean, both of them are lovable people. But yeah,
Did Randy Johnson kill a bird?
But they're getting ready for the big game, and he's trying to get help with his math.
If Joe can paint a house in 3 hours, and Sam can paint the same house in 5 hours, how long does it take for them to do it together?
Wait a minute. You never said this was a word problem.
And all the guys are trying to figure it out, and none of the guys can figure it out. And it's a very wholesome movie, really good, really great, and it stuck with me for a long freaking time.
And I remember the one where they're on the road in the hotel and he buys the dirty movies and his mom finds out about it. And he gets grounded.
And he blames one of the other players. And he's like, "I'll trade him whatever you want."
He gets grounded for watching dirty movies at a hotel.
And when he gets the job where he makes himself the manager, they're complaining that, oh man, the kid's gonna be in. This one guy's like, hey, kids are smart nowadays. You know, I went down to Venezuela and I was playing down there, and they had those kids speaking Spanish. And the guy's like, they speak Spanish in Venezuela. And he's like, I know, that's a hard language.
Yes. So
good shit.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so I'll
big league.
I'll change gears a little bit. Back to Kevin Costner. I won't go
more Costner.
The love of the game.
Clear the mechanism.
Hell yes.
Yes.
So, man, as a grown ass man, I think I might have cried when I watched that a couple of times.
Yeah,
same here.
It's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, directed by Sam Raimi. And
I didn't realize that for a long time.
So Gibbs, Sam Raimi also directed what?
He directed the Evil Dead movies. He directed
so crazy.
Darkman, the 3 Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire.
Wow.
Simple Plan with Billy Bob Thornton, and he's just an amazing director. And I did not, for the longest time, I watched this movie 1,000 times, did not pay attention to the fact that he was the director. And it was great. And John C. Reilly plays the catcher.
I know, right? Like when I went back and rewatched it, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
and he's like an earnest character too. Like he's
Well, this is before he was like a funny guy. You know?
Yeah. He was just like he's behind the plate, and the guy's like,
"I can taste it
on my tongue." No, man. So if you don't know the movie, it's what is this? Is it Billy Chapel? Is that his name?
Yeah.
So it's Kevin Costner. He's a major league pitcher with the Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees.
And it's coming up on his retirement, and he's basically, I know you're not supposed to talk about it, but he's pitching a perfect game.
Yep. Which is great too.
What the fuck, dude?
I know. Like as the game's going, like he's trying to clear his head of what's going on. And he keeps like thinking back to his life, what's led up to that point, and all the wins and losses, and the big loss of his girlfriend. And it's a really like heart touching movie. Like I said, as an adult, you look at it now and
well, it hits harder as an adult, man.
Yeah, absolutely, because you kind of start realizing like the more important things in life,
the mortality of it. Like when as a kid you focus on the baseball portion of it, you're ready for that perfect game, and then like as an adult you're like, fuck, like it's kind of a gut punch, man. Like it really is.
There were some MLB players that cameoed in that too, right?
I'm not sure.
Some of the guys he was pitching against weren't they real players?
I don't remember anybody specifically, but I'm fairly certain that everybody in that was either a minor league or a major league player at some point in their lives, like because everything was real. It was so real. Even the fans felt real in that game.
Yeah,
he had this relationship with Kelly Preston, I think it was, and she's watching the game at an airport bar, and there's this know-it-all Yankees fan that's just like talking about he's like, I know everybody's jersey number, and he starts listing everybody, and she's like not interested. But and that's a Yankees fan.
That is every Yankees fan ever. Yes,
you know. But and don't get me wrong, like I love a lot of Yankees players.
We're sorry.
Can't name any.
Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Fuck Aaron Boone, by the way, everybody, from a Braves fan. But like,
that George Herman Ruth character was all right.
It was very like real. But the thing is, like,
great Bambino.
It's a movie framed around baseball, but that's not what it's about. You know,
right?
Yep.
And but the thing is, like, when it's baseball time, it feels like baseball. It feels like you're there. It feels like it's a real game. Everything about it is so on point. And
you know what? When we get finished, I'm going to see if it's streaming
somewhere.
For free.
I agree.
And cry myself to sleep.
It is seriously like. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you ever want me to cry in watching a movie, just have sports in it. That's the way to go. Because
I agree. Same here.
I mean,
also, if you ever want to shatter a backboard, tell it it's adopted.
That's what I do to break my dog's heart every day. You should have seen me whenever I told my dog that she was adopted. She was like, "What? Are you fucking serious?" So I'm always gonna stay this color.
Thanks, Norm. No, poor Phoebe. All right, so I'll go ahead and step up to this one. This one, actually, I was a huge fan of as a kid. A League of Their Own.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
I'll tell you what this movie did for me, unfortunately. So, you know, with me, I'm monkey see, monkey do. So, monkey pee all over you. One night, we went to go watch this movie. I actually didn't want to go see it.
You're gonna live.
I didn't either. I was the same way. I was like, wait, chicks playing baseball?
Right.
Okay.
And so my mom, and I think Leaf's mom, we may have both went
play
together.
ball like a girl.
And so we went to go
get
see
to
it.
that one.
The movie is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like
it really
it's a great story. Tom Hanks is incredible in it. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying. When I got home from watching this movie, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I can catch a ball and do a split.
Oh, Henson should have no trouble with this. She's under it.
And turns out I couldn't, and ouch. So just you can't always do what you see on TV, guys. But
you went from baseball to skating. You're like Nancy Kerrigan. You're like,
yeah.
why?
I was like, why?
Why?
Yeah. Actually, I've tried to put that clip in like 3 or 4 times in our episodes, and it's too sad for me to put in. Like, I'll always download it and be like, But that movie, I mean, the premise of actually really happened. Like, that really did happen. Like, during, like, they had female baseball players for a little bit, I guess, during war times.
Yeah.
But Tom Hanks' character, as a kid, I thought it was funny. But as an adult, do I really just fucking gravitate towards him when he's just fucking hung over as shit, coming in pissing forever, like he doesn't want to be there, his head fucking hurts. Like, I was like, yeah, that's me every weekend.
Whenever this movie came out, I was visiting my family in Panama City, Florida, and me and my cousins went to the movie theater. We went to the movie theater, and the boys went to see Batman Returns, and the girls went to see A League of Their Own. And I loved Batman Returns, but when we got home, all the girls would be like, "Oh, this is the best movie. You guys missed it," and all that shit like that. I was like, it's chicks playing baseball. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But the next day, I decided to go watch it. I wanted to go check it out, and I watched it. I came out. I was like, "Oh my god, that was a great freaking movie!" It made me cry. That scene when Betty Spaghetti
when her husband's died,
finds out that her husband died.
Yeah, man.
Jesus.
There were tears pouring down my freaking face. Like, I lost it. And at the same time, every single time Tom Hanks was on the freaking screen, I was laughing my ass off. So, like it was
a good ebb and flow of like story, comedy, story, tragedy, comedy, like
balance, amazing.
And the end of the movie too, where like, Dottie hooks her sister up.
Yeah.
Like at the very end, like, she purposely drops the ball or whatever the fuck.
And
it is.
the president, she was married to the president of the United States of America, it turns out. Bill Pullman.
She was, yes.
But it was a fantastic film. great characters, like memorable lines. People quote that shit all the freaking time.
A lot of night games.
Yeah, yeah, and also that storyline kind of was touching to me. And
because Pa Kent was he raised his daughter because his wife had died, and he only knew how to raise her as a son. So he's like, don't make her suffer for my shortcomings or something like that.
Yeah, and my favorite line in that movie is John Lovitz whenever they're picking up the ugly chick, and he turns around and he's like, how it works is
the train moves, not the station.
Yeah, Lovitz is great at this.
He had a couple of other ones. I can't remember. I can't remember now, but something about the cows.
Yeah.
But
shut up.
It was like, yeah.
Will you shut up?
Gotta go home and give the wife a little pickle tickle.
Yeah.
I hate it when they get attached to me.
Yeah.
Gibbs, when we went to Vegas a couple years ago, my wife and I went to see Lovitz. He did stand up, and he was amazing.
Dude, shout out John Lovitz, sponsor our podcast. Dude, come on our podcast. For the love of God, can we get John Lovitz as a guest one day? Like, please.
Acting.
But also,
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and
that's
mute.
The ticket.
I'm gonna mute Shadwick for this one. Madonna was hot as fuck in this. I don't care. Sign me up.
I was actually talking about her earlier today because I don't know if you guys saw. There's a new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
And they play Like a Prayer. And
I love that song.
Good.
Yeah, it was a good song. Even when I was young, I just never cared for her. She reminded me of Sandra Bernhardt or something. She just had that dirty mouth. That should have had a cigarette in it at all times.
Listen, I can't agree with that at all.
Madonna's hot
at all.
Chris doesn't agree with it either.
Dick Tracy.
That's fine.
Here's the thing, man.
I'm not going to excommunicate you.
Also,
we can disagree.
The Madonna song from that movie With Honors, like I remember.
Oh yeah.
Like I will always love that song.
What was it? This used to be our playground. That was.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That was a great song.
And like a Prayer is about
Like
a blowjob, by the way.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
I know
about
it
a
is.
blowjob.
100%.
She is down on her knees like
so
a prayer.
So is Yummy Yummy Yummy. I got love in my tummy per Gibbs. Isn't that what you said? All right, guys. So
it's about swallowing.
There it is.
Okay.
Gibbs, your turn.
Again?
Mm-hmm. In a row?
Okay, so I'm going to stick with the kids, and I'm going to go with the Sandlot.
Oh yeah.
The Sandlot is, I mean, without a doubt, one of the most memorable movies of my childhood.
Lotioning. Lotioning. I can't take it anymore.
Wendy Peppercorn is every little kid's crush. I love that movie. It kind of showed how, like, when you're young, sports can bring any kid from any background together. Like,
absolutely, man. And the new kid in the fucking neighborhood thing, where
I related to that a lot because I moved quite a bit when I was a kid, and so I mean, I was 2 or 3 years here, 2 or 3 years there, and so I was always like trying to integrate into the established neighborhood. These kids had known each other their whole lives,
right?
And it was always sports. I was better at baseball. I sucked at basketball, but that was a big part of it too.
My thing was, like, I related to it too because I always enjoyed the new kid. I still, to this day, y'all know me. Like, I don't meet a stranger. So if I'm out, like, we start talking to somebody, like, I want to know, like, dude, where you
Obviously,
from?
we're not supposed to butt fuck these kids.
I'll always be like, man, where you from? What's up? Like, oh, you're from this state. You did this. So even when I was a kid, when there'd be a new kid in the neighborhood, I'm like,
pick him up.
And like we go play some fucking baseball and shit. And
yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Like, and also, like, you all had that outsider kid that, like, at first everybody's like kind of whatever about, but then you have that core group of friends that, like, speak their own language. And I think everybody that's ever had a friend kind of understands that. But it also, like, it makes you feel like the love and that nostalgia of summer. Like, when you're a kid, summer is the greatest time in the entire world. You go out, you can you can stay out late, you can go back out there, you can have a night game. It's just so relatable, and especially if you're like a kid that plays sports. When you watch that, you're just like, I'm that kid, and everybody can relate to that.
I'll tell you one aspect of it that it doesn't touch on, though. When you're the new kid, you automatically become the scapegoat for everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah,
I ran into that a lot.
I always made sure that everybody was the scapegoat for everything that I did, especially my brothers. They had to deal with that.
It was their fault.
But I mean, like,
if I had a twin brother, I would blame.
Also, there's like a little bit of the baseball history too. What Dennis Leary in it too. But like you got the Babe Ruth autograph baseball is great, and then the fear because everybody had that one
George.
George.
Yeah, any motherfucker that doesn't know who Babe Ruth is though should be shot. So. If I had made that movie, they would have just executed him like summarily in that field.
This is basically. Am I going to need to create another alternate ending like in the Jurassic Park episode?
We would have fed that kid to the beast, and it would have been over with.
The Sultan of Twat?
Yeah, the Sultan of
Twat.
Colossus of Cunt.
The Colossus of Cunt. The characters are memorable. You know their names. You know, like Yaya and Timmy and Tommy. You know, all the guys.
Man, I was convinced.
Squints Palladores.
One of those kids, I was absolutely convinced that he was one of the guys on Mad Men.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't. But
it wasn't him. But
wait, which kid?
Was it Yaya?
Yeah, I think that's the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
So this movie like carries so much that. I'll often get jerseys from China because they're cheap as fuck. One of my friends, one of Julie's friends too. Amanda, she is a giant Sandlot fan. She's a Dodgers fan too. So she actually has a Benny the Jet Rodriguez jersey she ordered from China that came in.
I can respect that.
There's a documentary about like a reunion of the kids at the Sandlot.
That's fucking cool.
It is such a.
I know they did like a minor league tour a couple years ago. I saw some.
Wait, are you serious?
What was
so they were going to a bunch of minor league stadiums where you could get. There was like 4 or 5 of them.
You know the kid that played the catcher. I can't remember the character name now, but he looks exactly the same as an adult.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
I think his name was Ham.
Yeah. The Great Hambino.
The Great Hambino,
yeah. But yeah, and he also
played ball like a girl.
He ended up being in The Big Green, that soccer Disney movie.
Yeah.
And he was in one of my favorite X-Files episodes that also had like Luke Wilson in it. And
really?
He played a vampire in it, and it was really funny. One of the funniest episodes of the X-Files. It was really funny. You guys should all check it out. I think it was in season 5 if you want to check it out.
But of course, you get James Earl Jones too in this that we kind of touched on. And again, as a kid though, there was always that crazy house in the neighborhood that you were scared of, and a lot of movies touched on it. And then I just never talked to him, so I just remained scared of that house in my neighborhood and didn't talk to him. But he talks to it, the dog, the monster, or whatever, like the beast. I mean, so he talks to it and he comes in, and it turns out this dude played. Which I have to assume this is loosely based around Roy Campanella, because he also went blind as a catcher in the bigs. And the only reason I know that is I did a report on him in like 6th grade, which was the only thing school ever did positive for me. It's made me research Roy Campanella. Everything else, you can go fuck yourself.
I did a report on Pele once.
Did you?
Yeah, his name is Edson.
Way to kick it in, Pele.
Yeah.
I was talking, but I mean that's cool.
But anyway,
it was relative.
He gets the new signed bulb that trumps at the end of the movie because they're playing with the Babe Ruth ball. But anyway,
George.
No,
I love that. I love that shit. If I had known that my next door neighbor was blind, I would have robbed him and killed him. Probably.
I would have just opened the gate and let his fucking dog out. That's a big dog for a blind guy to have.
I would have dry humped the shit out of that dog.
If you gave him a steak, you'd probably be all right.
Newfound glory.
Your turn.
Man, I guess I got to go back to the Costner well. And,
nice.
Go Field of Dreams.
If you build it, he will come.
Woo! It's another serious one,
dude. And that one
I will cry.
Yeah, that one too. I actually went and rewatched it 2 years ago, right after Major League Baseball actually had a game on the fucking field.
Oh yeah.
And then Costner announced them coming. I legit fucking cried.
Same. I had tears rolling down my cheeks
when he was announcing the lineup and the players came out of the fucking man.
I love Kevin Costner's voice so goddamn much. I love him as an actor. I started a hashtag trend on Twitter a long time ago that Chadwick remembers. More Costner. More Costner.
Yeah.
More Costner. Everything in this world needs more Kevin Costner. He is one of the greatest actors in the entire world. One of the greatest directors we've ever seen.
Yes.
Doesn't get credit for anything that he does.
Yeah, and fucking Superman, let him die.
No. He put his hand up and he said...
Gibbs has lost it. He's done.
And then earlier he was like, "You are my son." I can't.
Also, that movie, James Earl Jones again. But
yeah, man.
But that movie is
Moonlight Graham.
If you were to tell somebody that plot, it is outlandish as fuck and fucking weird. But when you see that film, you are sucked the fuck in. Like you are front row for that, like every time.
Who directed that movie?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, look that up. But
I'm on it.
But also too, you have the wife. They're about to lose their fucking house, their property, their livelihood.
Phil Aldwin Robinson.
Yeah, and another thing in that movie is another actor that we've talked about previously. He was in Timothy Busfield. Played the jackass brother-in-law, whatever that was trying to get them to sell the farm and all that shit.
Yeah.
He was in Little Big League as well, as the
agent,
the boyfriend of his mom.
Oh shit! It was. Wow.
Gibbs, get ready for this. The guy that wrote Field of Dreams wrote Fletch. Well, the screenplay.
Wow.
Oh, okay, the screenplay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Still.
That's crazy, and that's that. Okay, so this movie makes me cry all the freaking time. I'm telling you, just put sports in a movie, and I'm gonna cry. But it's the father-son.
The father-son catch, that.
And also, when
would you like to have a catch?
Have a catch
when Moonlight Graham, when he crosses the border to save the little girl, and then Costner's like, "Oh my god, you can't go back, can you?"
Yes, I mean that was so freaking.
Yeah. It's so that's actually like a trip that I really want to take. I know you can rent it out and it's pretty expensive, but you can do an Airbnb there. I want to fucking go there.
There's so many beautiful things in that movie. There's also humor. Whenever Kevin Costner goes to meet him, and I guess James Earl Jones' character is based on J.D. Salinger or something like that, like a reclusive writer or whatever.
What's this supposed to be? Terrence Mann.
I don't remember.
Terrence Mann.
Yeah.
Whenever he goes to kidnap him, and he's like, "Show me your gun." He's like, "I'm not going to show you my gun."
Yeah.
They still have that humor and shit like that.
Well, yeah, like when it's a Shoeless Joe Jackson when he's up there to bat and he winks at the pitcher.
Yeah.
And he throws at his head. And he's like, he winked at me. He's like, don't wink at him, kid.
Yeah. Don't wink at him, kid. Yeah.
and it was foreshadowed earlier in the game. He was like, I always wanted to get up the plate and wink at the guy. And like I knew what he was thinking or something.
I always want to know what it'd be like to run over a dried up stinky dick licker.
I'll tell you right now though, that again, this one came full circle. Maybe I probably watched this movie 3 times in the last 2 years because of that Major League Baseball thing. And they have like everything Major League Baseball ever does good, they discontinued it and won't do it again. But it was so fucking good. There was, you can only have 2,000 fans there. If that, there's not that many people that can go see the game, so it's super intimate. You have the fucking corn, the field. God damn.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I saved up my money for a long time to buy this movie for my dad for Christmas.
That's awesome.
It was so sentimental, and I was just I love the father-son dynamic. And
dude, the catch when he finally gets to have a catch with his dad, man. That's
then your dad gave it back to you for your birthday,
no,
unopened.
Yeah.
No, he opened it up and he was like, Okay, so I spent how much money over the years, and you bought me a fucking $10 VHS.
So the next one that I'm gonna pick, which is actually like a really I love this fucking movie because it was also filmed in Chattanooga partially. 42.
Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42. That way they won't tell us apart.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
So 42, good friend of the show. Well, excuse me, good friend of me and Gibbs, Chris Dortch, actually had a cameo in this. Hall of Fame writer now.
Yes, he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame writers, whatever. Like he just got inducted.
Super cool guy, but he actually got to be a reporter in this movie. Writer in real life, but he got to be a reporter in this movie. They filmed it at a historic Ingalls Stadium. Yeah. The green screens are still up out there, I do believe, because apparently, fuck that stadium. I want them to redo that stadium and hold games there and shit again. I guess UTC owns it now.
Such an incredible stadium. They used to have like 50-cent hot dog night, and it was my favorite thing in the world. Obviously,
the fucking Babe Ruth played there. Ted Williams, because what used to happen is when they did spring
that deer,
they did the barnstorming thing.
Yeah, so like when the spring training ended, all the major league teams would play minor league teams on their way up. So the spring training was always in Florida, and then so they would get money to work their way back up to before the season started. And
it benefited the players and the teams.
Yes, and
so that, the players could because they didn't pay their players shit back then.
Right. And so, but anyway, this movie obviously is about Jackie Robinson, who? I've done deep fucking dives on, documentaries, books, and shit. Like, the struggle this dude did, and Branch Rickey actually knowing that like this was the guy to fucking bring up to break the color barrier and everything. But that fucking movie is so good, and there's so many great scenes and uncomfortable moments in it too.
Yeah. Steve the Pirate.
Yeah,
man, that's.
But that was real. That happened.
Well, that scene is so disgusting.
Yeah.
There's great actors in it. Christopher Maloney's in it. I actually think that my wife met him while he was filming that because she was working at the Fox Key at the time.
Oh, really?
Whenever that was going on, and he was staying at a motel right there. They had the strongest man in the world.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Toby Huss playing the first base coach, and of course the Black Panther himself as Jackie Robinson. And it's such a powerful movie. And of course Branch Rickey, although he's known for that, but he's also the guy that invented minor leagues.
Yeah,
too. Whenever he was with the Cardinal system, there's a lot of history in this. And
Goodman plays Rickey, right?
No, it's Harrison Ford.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and fantastic movie. Honestly, I think more people
Don't ask me for what I can't give.
I think more people need to watch this to realize even though black people got their freedom in 1865, they didn't really get their freedom. They didn't have the same rights, and it's just important to realize.
And so much of this movie though is historically accurate. Like I said, I've gone pretty deep. I'm a big fan of Jackie Robinson. Just the player himself is a fucking outstanding player, but just like what he did and how he did it. I actually have I'll put a picture up. I got a big picture of Jackie Robinson that our good friend Brandon gave me. The players taking the leap to be like, I've got your back. When they went back to, I forgot what the second baseman's name is, or shortstop, they're playing in his hometown, and he's shaking his hand and putting his arm around him because he's like, he's one of us, he's my friend.
He's showing hey, this is what it should be and everything.
Right, exactly. That is so fucking powerful, and just such a great fucking movie.
It hits, it really hits, and it doesn't shy away from anything.
And they really didn't sensationalize a lot of shit in that. A lot of it's so fucking true.
It makes you uncomfortable in a good way. It makes you uncomfortable. And I really do encourage everybody to watch this film if they haven't seen it, because it is so powerful and it is so moving and it is so true. And
when you get done watching that, go watch also the what's his name that does all the documentaries?
If I weren't so
Ken Burns. All right, Ken Burns. Ken Burns.
If I hadn't had this much vodka, then
Ken Burns did a documentary on all the history of baseball.
Yeah.
But one of them, he did a special on Jackie Robinson. If you can find that, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So if you're drinking pickle vodka, is it like pickleback?
Yeah, it's exactly what that's supposed to be.
Wow.
Pickleback, bitch.
It's just
Pickleback, bitch.
it's just
Pickleback,
easy.
bitch.
It just kills the sting.
There's two flavors. Yes, it kills the sting. There's two flavors. There's a spicy pickle and just regular dill pickle. And I prefer the spicy pickle because that means nobody else is going to touch it but me. It's delicious. I love it. And please sponsor us.
Hey, I think we just need a little bit of a break of shit stuck in my head this week.
Oh, Beyonce. She's smoking.
I don't want to take my pants
Look at the
off.
bat that kid's got.
Whoa.
All right, Ronnie, that's enough. This bitch tried to grab my joint. Language, Ronnie. My language is English. And this motherfucker tried to grab on my hang down.
Got my own hang down to touch, kid.
Oh, he has wanted a handful of my balls.
Funky, that's racist. That's how I tied it in. All right, so there it is. Shit stuck in my head this week.
Wow.
Gibbs.
We're not the messenger.
All right, Gibbs.
Is it my turn again?
Your turn again.
All right, so I'm going to go old school. There's a movie that you guys probably haven't seen called Pride of the Yankees, starring Gary Cooper.
No.
It is about Lou Gehrig, and it even features Babe Ruth after he retired from baseball. And it's kind of like a historical, it's historical fiction. I mean, it's
Okay.
real, but it's a great movie about Lou Gehrig and what he was going through and his trials and tribulations, and it really hits. Just quickly, since I'm the only one that watched it, but it's a black and white that irks you.
What year did it come out?
Super old. It was like late 1930s, maybe early 1940s.
Shit.
It's a really good movie though. There's some cheesiness to it, obviously, because it came out during the Hays Code era, I guess, whatever it's called. And but it's really good. Like I said, Babe Ruth himself shows up in it to pay tribute, even though Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig did not really get along too well because of jealousy reasons and stuff like that back in the day. But if you want to get a really good idea of what he went through, The Pride of the Yankees is a great film.
Awesome
to go through.
Pride of the Yankees. Chadwick, you're up, brother.
How many more are we going to do?
We'll just keep going.
Yeah, just
fuck it.
Well, I'm going to do a twofer here.
Oh.
Yep. The Bad News Bears.
There's chocolate all over this ball.
Look, Mr. Buttermaker, quit bugging me about my food. People are always bugging me about it. My shrink says that's why I'm so fat. So you're not doing me any good, so let's quit it.
I didn't even have that one. Shit.
You got the original
Matthau?
Walter Matthau and the remake with Billy Bob Thornton.
So
which one do you prefer?
I feel like I'm.
Really? Seriously?
I feel like I'm going to get judged either way.
I'm going Billy Bob.
I'm out.
I'm a big Billy Bob Thornton fan.
Same here.
I love Billy Bob Thornton. Don't get me wrong. I think he's fantastic.
But also, to be honest, to full disclosure, I saw the Billy Bob one first.
Okay.
Yes, I never got to see the original. It never was really on TV or on my radar.
Have you never watched it?
No, I have.
Okay.
Now, but I saw Billy Bob's for it.
That's
first.
crazy to me because I grew up on Bad News Bears, Walter Matthau, and all that shit. Kelly played by Rorschach himself,
and Freddie. He ended up being Freddie.
The only
we
thing
don't
I
talk
know,
about that.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it nice here. Okay?
The only thing I know about that one is Walter Matthau. The first thing, he was in a Grumpy Old Men, right?
Yeah.
So that's really all I knew him for. So
seriously.
So then when I went back and watched it, the original is fantastic. It's a great movie.
Yep.
But also, like Chadwick, I'm a big Billy Bob fan. I feel like that role was the way he played it in the modern version. Was great. I really don't feel like you can go wrong with either one, though. It's not like
you're not going to mess up. But I know that it's a nostalgia podcast, guys, and that Bad News Bears. I can't remember a time in my life where that movie wasn't with me, and it sticks with me. Even the Clerks animated series, parodied that in one of their 6
Yes,
episodes.
they did. Yeah.
You know, like, and Kelly was the bad boy that rode a motorcycle, and he was like 10 years old, and I was like, oh my god, he rides a motorcycle. So
who does
so
that?
freaking
So cool. Long hair.
But I mean, the Billy Bob Thornton one is really freaking funny.
Yeah.
I think it's really freaking funny. I just can't separate myself from the first one.
So
and so like it's
the one with Billy Bob was funny to me. Was it like Little Bo Peeps strip club or something? Was the sponsor? It was on the back of their shirt, right? Yeah. We always had sponsors like that when we were.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
In the league.
My older brother, like his sponsor, whenever he was playing, he was like 6 years old. It was like Discount Liquors or some shit like that.
Ours was a family law office, and
bro,
like they specialize in divorces.
Can I put this out to the universe? Let Be Kind, Let's Rewind sponsor your little league team.
Let me sponsor your team.
Let's do
it.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
For the love of God, let these guys sponsor your team.
For the love of God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the Bad News Bears, man. So
those
fucking
are movies.
good.
The Bad News Bears also kind of inspired the ragtag team of children kind of movies. I don't know another. I know that like Sean S. Cunningham made a ripoff of the Bad News Bears back in the 70s that really sucked.
We had like Little Giants and Ladybugs.
Yeah.
We don't talk about those movies. Little Giants was pretty cool, but
it was okay.
Ladybugs, come on, man.
I'm just talking about
also Jonathan
the
Brandis
team that's
is
not
dead.
supposed to win. You know,
Jonathan Brandis is dead, so we just kind of have to pay tribute to him.
So
All
okay,
right. Back to Chris.
Back to Chris. Rookie of the Year.
Hell yeah.
Is what I'm going to. That movie, when I was a fucking kid, was the fucking shit. And it didn't make me want to be a Cubs fan, but that mixed with Harry Carey made me tolerate the Cubs.
Speaking, I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
We recently hired a guy at work, and it was kind of out of desperation. We had a layout guy quit, and so we had to get someone because like orders were backing up. This dude, he's got to be close to retirement age. I actually moved offices this week to get away from him because he's so loud, and he reminds me so much of Will Ferrell doing the Harry Carey.
Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here.
His body's out in front of him, so he's like always off balance. So he walks faster to like try to keep up with his body. And he's one of those guys. He talks to himself like he works out problems out loud.
Yeah.
And he'll like yell from his office to another office to ask a question.
Man,
I just absolutely fucking hate that.
I'm texting him this.
I'm going to be honest. Thank God this isn't being out in the open that can be consumed by the public.
Yeah.
No, never get back to
Rookie of the Year.
You know what? Fuck, he needs to know.
Rookie of the Year is very important in my formative years.
Yeah.
I love this movie. Directed by Daniel Stern, who also played the crazy coach.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know that he directed this.
I didn't either.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Wasn't he also the narrator for Sandlot?
No.
Am I wrong on that?
Shadwick's like, wasn't he also? Then Gibbs is like, not today.
If it is, goddamn it, I never noticed it, but no, it's not.
Shadwick's looking it up right now. Anyway, go ahead, Gibbs.
I'm on it. Anyway, Rookie of the Year, great cast. Again, John Candy is the announcer instead of Bob Uecker in this one. He is funny as shit. I don't know the kid's name from American Pie that fucks the pie, but no, wait, he's not the pie.
He didn't
fucker.
fuck the pie.
He's the one with
he eats Tara Reid's pussy.
Tara Reid's lopsided pussy.
Yeah, he eats Tara.
I bet that tastes good.
Is what he said.
But you know, it's got the fat kid from the one thing and the other kid from the other thing. Daniel Stern, the the coach. It's funny. It's a funny movie. It's really good for kids.
He just fucking can't get his name right. What?
Rathenberger.
Yeah, Rowan Gardner. Yeah, it's Rowan Gardner.
It's Rowan Gardner.
Yeah,
and Gary Busey as
yes,
Chet Stedman, Chet the Rocket Stedman, who is fantastic in it.
I think this is pre motorcycle accident.
Yes, and he has this scene where he goes out and he makes up this speech about the have to. The have to. Yeah, it's half win, half lose, half afraid, or whatever. It's so funny. There's so many memorable lines. Funky butt lovin',
which actually shout out,
I still use today.
Shout out Workaholics. They've used that a few times.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's in a few of their episodes, and I got to see them live. Blake, we're fellow Niners fans. I met you. Sponsor our podcast.
Let me. What are your
I'm
fans?
sorry, Gibbs. Daniel Stern was the narrator of The Wonder Years.
Wow, I didn't.
Is that true?
That's true. I knew he was narrator or something.
Holy shit, that's even better. Holy cow, that's crazy. I love
Holy
the Wonder
shit.
Years.
Now I don't want to go watch The Wonder Years again because now I'm going to hear the guy from Home Alone narrating it.
Daniel Stern was also like, what was funny about his character in that in Rookie of the Year was he followed around the coach because he beamed him in the minor leagues one time. He would never leave him alone, and he like It's just a funny movie. Great characters again. You know, it's not a tearjerker. I've never cried during this one.
No. But it's you have the kids. The kids get jealous of him and his fame. He gets to meet Ray Charles. He's got the right one, baby. Yeah. All
It
that.
would have been awesome if he met Michael Jackson and his hair caught on fire.
That's the Pepsi one they should have done. So
yeah.
All right, Gibbs, back to you.
My next one is another drama. Historical drama about the Babe. Starring John Goodman as Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
This is a movie that I saw really young, and I fell in love with Babe Ruth, and I was obsessed with him. I've got imitation cards, baseball cards from they're not the real cards, but they are like replicas and stuff. Yeah. And I loved him. I read everything about him. Checked him out and everything.
Dude, if you're ever fucking bored, go to baseballreference.com and then look up Babe Ruth's pitching stats on top of his hitting stats. Like, what he was doing pitching back in the day was pretty fucking outstanding, too.
There's a lot of people that still consider him the best baseball player ever based on the fact that he was one of the most dominant left-hand pitchers of all time and one of the most dominant hitters of all time.
Right.
And, he's the first person to hit 60 home runs that lasted until Roger Maris. And
what was that? What was that book you read? The year Babe Ruth hit. The one where he they put the current park dimensions.
Shit! I don't even remember what that was. I've read some.
There's a book that's because park dimensions were way bigger back then.
So if they had used today's current park dimensions, he would have hit 190 something, maybe 100 something home runs in the season. But back then, the fences were 500 feet.
The center and
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and they were it was a different time, different era. But you could also say, of course, he didn't also have to face black pitchers, but he was still just dominant.
He was a dominant player in that era. So that's
what's that pitcher's name? Is it Chapman? Was throwing 106.
Chapman. I think he hit 10. Yeah, I think he hit 106 or 105. Aronis Chapman.
But you can't judge people based on different eras and stuff like that. You just kind of have to go
because nutrition, evolution. Babe Ruth to Aronis Chapman is literally 100 years.
But he was that movie is so emotional too, and it doesn't make him.
And John Goodman is a fucking insanely great actor.
The Pride of the Yankees is one of those movies that just no matter what, that guy is. Lou Gehrig is the most beautiful, amazing person in the world. The Babe shows you all
sides of Babe, all the faults,
bad stuff, and it shows more of the bad stuff than the good stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, shows his humanity, and it's so touching. It is another one that makes me cry because if there's sports involved, I'm almost always going to cry.
Didn't Tommy Lee Jones do one about Ty Cobb that was kind of like that too? It showed what a bastard he was.
It was called Cobb.
Cobb,
and it had, Tommy Lee Jones and I think Arliss was the fucking
just if we're coming clean on this podcast about sports movies, I cried the first time I watched the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
I cried during Angels in the Outfield whenever you found out Tony Danza had cancer. You know,
oh,
like
Jesus, yeah, I did too.
You know, like if there's, don't get me started on Brian's Song or The Champ. You know, like I cried during sports movies.
All right, Shadwick, your turn.
So I have to admit I've not seen this movie very many times, but I'm not in a shrump.
Mr. Baseball?
Mr. Baseball.
I'm not in a slump.
Tom Selleck,
Oh.
just towering all those was it, I guess he was in Japan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a hole in his swing, I feel. Shuto.
So this movie holds a very special place in my heart because this was one of Johnny's favorite movies.
Yes.
And
Oh,
so
okay.
I bought the DVD before we went out to to visit him in Utah. And we watched this movie. This movie's so fucking good. Just Tom Selleck, like his back and forth with everybody, the love story, the love interest, the manager, just him.
The interpreter is
Really God.
Yeah.
The interpreter like cleaning everything up for him.
You have a hole in your swing, he says.
Yeah. Love this fucking movie. Like,
yes, it is a beautiful movie. It makes me want to go to Japan just to watch Japanese baseball.
It made Leaf want to go to Japan, and now he's not on the show anymore. I don't know what happened. Jesus Christ, get him back.
I think Toshi just
Well, he posted a lot of pictures of stuff he ate there, and a lot of it looked like grubs.
I'm not shitting you. Those pictures that he sent made me so fucking hungry. That shit looked good.
I bet that tastes good.
Do it.
Shaddy, no.
So, all right.
Mr. Baseball. Mr. Baseball is a great freaking movie. Tom Selleck really. That's the first time I kind of saw baseball from another culture. And it made me, I was like, oh, so that's what it's like there. Because, like, all I knew was American baseball. And then watching the respect that the crowds have for him. And then, like, the tipping of the cap thing was
until
so
this movie, I didn't know Japanese baseball was a thing. Gibbs, you do one more, and then I'll end with one. What's your next one?
What do I got to do? So I think I'm going to have to go with 8 Men Out, starring John Cusack. And
I've
Michael
never
Rooker.
seen that.
So it is based on a book called or 8 Men Out, and it's about the Black Sox scandal of
shit.
1919.
Okay, yeah.
Great freaking movie. You guys have to see it. It's got Christopher Lloyd in it, I believe, and he plays a reporter and stuff like that. But it shows the guys from the Black Sox scandal and what they had to go through. Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, man.
It is a great movie. It is another kind of
It shows what happened to the guys that got caught.
Yes, and it is
because they weren't the only ones doing it.
But it wasn't that like all the guys that got caught. It was everybody on that team, even the guys that didn't do anything wrong that got banned from baseball. And in like Bucky Weaver, so like John Cusack plays Bucky Weaver, who was totally against throwing everything, but he still got banned from baseball because of it. And like it's really good. It's really emotional. There's another great cast, and it's perfect. I read that book before I saw that movie, and the movie is maybe better than the book. And I don't say that about a lot of things.
You never say that. That's awesome.
But it's fantastic, and you feel like you're in 1919.
Nice. Yeah, okay. I got to watch that. 8 Men Out.
Have to see
right?
That. 8 Men Out. Yeah.
8 Men Out. All right, guys, I'm going to end it. The last one with a little foreshadowing. Major League.
Trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
We're not going to go deep into this, what a great movie it is, because guess what? Next week, we are fucking covering Major League full force with Gibbs back. Leaf may be back. We will do a foursome on this bitch, and it's going to be amazing. So we got Wild Thing, we got Dorn, we got Serrano, we got the whole fucking thing. We got the whole fucking thing.
So I want to just rapid fire some honorable mention real quick.
All right.
We got The Rookie.
Yes.
With Dennis Quaid.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Great fucking movie. shows what a support system can do for you.
Side note: the rookie saw that guy's real face. What a blessing it was to have Dennis Quaid play him.
Amen. 61. 61 with a
shit.
That's a great one. It's about Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle.
Absolutely.
Going
the
through the
stress he went through to go through that.
The Natural.
Oh, yes.
Robert Redford.
That is a beautiful one.
Wonder Boy.
Mr. 3000.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
And this is probably not a very popular one, but I enjoyed Summer Catch. It was a...
Oh, yeah, with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and, I had one more.
One more, Gibbs. Serve it up.
The Catcher Was a Spy?
No, eat shit. I can't remember anymore, but...
All right, so, guys, this is actually really good. This was fun as fuck. So
yeah, this is a good one.
With that, we're going to lead us over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Yeah, I had a minor bird.
Minor birds.
Yeah.
They're better than parrots.
Yeah, they're better because they can really talk. I had a roommate who hated my girlfriend. The bird would say, "God damn it, I wish she'd get out of here." Kind of bored.
What if you came back one day and your minor bird was like, fuck me hard before my husband, Billy Bob Thornton, comes back home. That'd be bad. That's why I would never do that.